Today, a large police presence was caught on video surrounding a mall in Miami. It was due to an alien sighting in that area.
You guys went crazy, bro. You guys went like aliens. I got goosebumps. I'm like, I have to get back home.
Shadowy, dark, solid shapes. Not human. I promise you, these is not human.
What's going on?
Aliens. Aliens.
Right,
that's what's going on. They're taking over. They're coming down. They're 10 feet tall, and they are looming largely.
Is this the first time we've seen
three figures, shadowy, 8 to 10 feet tall, interdimensional holographic style kind of humanoid figures?
There's both talk of alien sightings at Bayside Marketplace.
It seems like something's off. It seems like
if you're not convinced that we're not alone in this planet, you might want to pay attention to otherworldly phenomena, ghostly apparitions, and proof of extraterrestrial life. There have been amazing incidents that you would never believe if they weren't actual aliens. We've always speculated about them, but there hasn't been any concrete evidence to support our theories, until one man ventured into a clearing in a forest. We'll cause you to reconsider. Here's where things get crazy. Back in 2023, the Mexican government confirmed the existence of aliens and even presented Congress with alien mummy. If you look at the two together, they resemble each other. I'm not sure where this alien was discovered or where it went, but if it's anywhere beyond Mexico, we may be dealing with extraterrestrial life on Earth. The man was startled by the discovery of this remarkably preserved alien body, which looked nothing like he had seen before. He even poked the alien to check. To his surprise, the skin was taut, and the alien felt like it was alive only a few hours ago. The terrors boned. What would you do if you came into this disorganized skeleton that a hiker had found? This enigmatic skeleton has annoyed me a lot since. No matter how I look at it, I just can't seem to make sense of it. We've seen a number of credible examples of extraterrestrial life, so I lean toward thinking that this is something that descended from a saucer-shaped plate with a spooky body and easily visible bones. It still has somewhat unusual leathery textured skin, and we can only speculate as to what this creature could be and what happened. To be honest, I don't think it resembles any animal I've seen, and I've seen a number of them. Perhaps it's the decomposing figure of a well-known animal in a rather precarious position, but who knows?
On New Year's Day, a large police presence was caught on video surrounding a mall in Miami. Perhaps you saw this, a video posted online claiming it was due to an alien sighting in that area.
Look at that police presence.
We look back and we noticed some weird shapes, shadowy, dark, solid shapes. Not human. I promise you, these is not human.
There's a big crowd of people running out of Bayside, running between cars, almost getting hit by cars. It was like absolute chaos.
Authorities in Miami responded to reports that an alien creature was captured on camera.
Aliens in Miami have been among the top 10 searches on Twitter's trending tab, and Google News even has several reports questioning the event.
Just in case we thought they were little tiny green men, these are some tall bad boys.
A straightforward view. I know it doesn't look too promising, but wait until you see what's flying out this little window. Captured by passengers on a flight from Rome to Paris sometime in the late 1990s and early 2000s, this flying saucer made headlines because of its clear day visuals. Of course, since the video was uploaded decades ago, there has been a fair amount of skepticism, but at the time, public editing technology was quite limited. So I'm not sure how someone could have faked an entire UFO on film. And here's where it all comes together. Ever since the public expressed disgust over the image, complaining that the UFO's video is just way too blurry, an anonymous source released another angle that was captured from a different plane that was flying close to the first. Sasquatch train. The only thing a couple could describe the creature they saw on the sightseeing train between Durango and Silverton was Bigfoot. Bigfoot, humbug, is pretty much what most of us would say if someone told us they spotted the creature. But here, let me see your camera record from a couple of passengers on a train in southwest Colorado. The strange figure was large enough to be spotted by numerous spectators and enough to give the impression that the creature was easily walking over bushes. What do you think about this mysterious Bigfoot sighting that has many wondering if this mythical being is actually real? Superhuman. Angels, I know they're real, but I never imagined seeing what I saw on camera. After all, how else could this enormous, enigmatic, gleaming appearance have been caught in Brazil? The video depicts a golden glow moving across hills, and many people made jokes about it being a super saiyan. While some speculated that it was only the camera's brightness, the reality is that we don't know what might be there. It might be an alien, angel, or ghost, and it's most likely not a super saiyan. An unwanted visitor. And this is one of the most unsettling humanoids I have ever seen. It's one thing for them to have such a horrific appearance, but it's another to be floating and strolling off what appears to be the top of trees. Many humanoid figures have been documented for decades, but nothing has ever been as clear as this one. It almost seems like the humanoid creature is the Grim Reaper. It also crept around the houses, frightening viewers, and then it simply vanished. What's scarier than that? A loose trickle. Nobody knows what this mysterious figure is, but it's too long and stable to be a flying shopping bag, and it's definitely not an aircraft. I'm starting to think it's actually something like the Reaper. Someone tell the Grim Reaper that he can be seen seriously, but what the heck is that? It's almost like a witch making her way down the road, filmed and posted anonymously. Of course, I could be mistaken, but how else would you explain this? Fatal Morana. Okay, everything. I don't usually question the laws of physics, but how is this ship defying them from a distance? It's obvious. You can see it with your own eyes, no matter how hard you rub them. The ship appears to be floating in midair. Those who initially came upon the site may have wondered if the ship was being commandeered by a member of the galactic community, or if it was actually a spaceship in disguise, but it turns out that nature was deceiving them. This is Fata Morana, also known as a mirage. Layers of warm and cold air bend light to produce these bizarre floating images. This is a natural phenomena. It's one of the strangest phenomena on Earth, and it doesn't just happen to ships sometimes. At times, it can even give the impression that the water is floating in midair. Mummies from Nazca. Ever since this footage shot by a few raiders surfaced, the globe has been unsettlingly disturbed by the eerie bodies of multiple aliens. These extraterrestrial mummies, which resemble those in horror films uncannily, were found in Peruvian tunnel. Many explorers have since looted the caves, but it nearly seems as though everything has been completely destroyed. UFO researcher Jamie Main initially made this information public. Malson even presented a DNA analysis to prove these are aliens, but ever since raiders visited the area, they found it desolate, which only prompted more questions about where the aliens went and if they're still here. How did they even make it to Earth? The creatures in the video may appear to have passed away, but countless viewers pointed out that their arms and other appendages seemed to be moving, suggesting these aliens were actually alive and staying still to spook the invaders away. Transformation. The world's scientists are attempting to determine what caused a strange blue light to spiral in the sky, like a scene from a fantastic story. Spectators looked up as a mysterious silver ring appeared in the sky. It seemed as though the heavens had opened a portal, framing it with shimmering metal. This was no scene from a science fiction film. Instead, it was real, unfolding above heads turned skyward in awe. Many speculated that it was one of those strange UFOs that could change its shape. Others, taking a more pragmatic approach, proposed something more ordinary, such as a machine that produced enormous smoke rings or an enormous section of an alien edifice that is primarily made of glass. Beachgoers. Recently, While strolling along the shoreline in a well-known coastal location, they happened upon something rather unusual. While searching for the typical seaside treasures, they discovered something extraordinary, rare, and something you could walk for days without seeing. Half buried in the sand were intricate glassy sculptures. It's a war of pure melted glass when you find something like this. These weren't your average beach finds. At first glance, you might think they were part of a modern art installation, possibly even a practical joke, but nope, these are actually alien. And I'll explain why they symbolize the aftermath of lightning strikes on the sand. That's a gorgeous glass fogger there. Let me put it in the light so you can see it. Look at that fight there. Gorgeous piece of fulgurite. I think Thor would make a pretty excellent artist. Horrified blinking. Don't think they were anything normal, because they appeared out of nowhere. A year ago, countless beachgoers visiting the Pacific Beach over San Diego's coast were stomped when they noticed a hovering bright red light. People living in Pacific Beach spotted these lights last night. So what are they and where did they come from? At first they assumed it was just the light from a ship, but the blinding light stayed put in its position, almost as if it was deciding. Whether to land or not, they seem to have appeared out of thin air and stuck around for about 15 minutes. If this UFO sighting wasn't striking enough, numerous UFO enthusiasts pointed out this craft looked eerily similar to one filmed over the moon. Here's that visual now. This was captured by an amateur astronomer in Germany, and although we can't see it, he claimed the mysterious lighted UFO circled the moon for a while and eventually made its way to Earth, where the astronomer lost sight. Now personally, the two appearances weeks within each other. Seems suspicious to me. That's not a coincidence, in my opinion, and I'm beginning to have more and more questions about life in general. Piercing of the Earth tree. Okay, alien. I don't usually get excited about small things. Well, maybe if it's wasps, but a strange little alien biting its way out of a tree. Well, thanks, not today. This unusual creature was captured on camera by a bystander, and I have to admit that I have no idea what aliens are supposed to look like, but this thing might be one. To make matters worse, this is what it sounds like. Imagine coming upon this while out on your own at night. I would almost pass out. But what is it? A kind of xenomorph, or a rare insect species? Floating threat. Forget about black cats crossing your path. If this strange ghostly appearance suddenly materialized in front of my car, I'd be pulling over quickly. It's like something out of a ghost story. A driver, equipped only with her own camera, captured an eerie, ghostly figure floating in midair for a brief moment. The video, once shared, sparked a flurry of theories about what might have happened. Was it a lost soul, a spectral visitor from another world, or maybe just an optical illusion that tricked the eyes? Personally, I'd rather not know. Too warm to handle. Sand areas along the shoreline appeared to bubble and churn, giving the impression that the beach itself was boiling, even if beachgoers initially assumed they were just singing. Those strolling along the water's edge were undoubtedly drawn to the unusual sight under the sun. Known as sand boils, these enigmatic phenomena are small, peculiar acts of nature that arouse amazement and curiosity. Sand boils are caused by pressurized water trapped beneath the surface of the sand, which then finds a weak place in the sand to escape. The phenomenon is similar to watching a miniature explosion of water and sand, and while it has a perfectly plausible explanation, it nonetheless fascinates and perplexes observers.